Good evening, boys and girls, and welcome to another Thursday night edition of WrestleZone Unfiltered. Gonna be a good night, Tater. We got the intro right this week, got the background. I am on top of shit this week. Paul, how you doing, man? Nice to see you again.
Oh, I'm feeling healthy. I got to try out in a couple days, so I've been resting. I haven't been trying to push myself, and it's like, okay, hopefully my knee stops clicking, but other than that, I'm feeling good.
Or just put some WD-40 on that someday. You'll be all right. And
Couple knee
joining
wraps
us
will get
back after a couple week absence, our resident diva, Danny, is back. Miss Danny, how are you tonight?
I am good. I cleaned out a drawer at work today where the person that I replaced made copies of pages in a book. So she literally copied the book. The pile was at least that high and growing.
Huge. It was huge.
And I was like, oh my God. That's probably just as much paper as Tony Khan spent on Mercedes Moné's contract.
Well, you know, you bring up Tony Khan, those contracts, man. Everybody, everybody's the rumor has it TKO might be wanting to unload WWE down the road. So you never know with all that Khan family money they got. He might wind up owning all the shit after all. So, we are waiting on Connor. Connor is actually going to join us. We put him on a couple of milk cartons, and he's actually been found. So we will see Connor here in just a little bit, Rod, for the first ever AEW Fantasy Draft coming your way here in just a few minutes. But Danny, I'm going to get to you real quick because I ain't seen you in a while. You know, it's been rumored or reported, whatever, because I'll believe it when I see it, that your best friend is coming back, that Wardlow is on his way back, that he is cleared and ready to come, and they just don't have anything for him yet. So I'm going to ask you, because I don't remember the last thing you did. If I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think the last thing we saw him doing was giving Adam Cole dirty looks on TV with the whole whatever the hell they were calling them people during the devil app angle. So bringing Wardlow back, he wasn't doing a whole lot when he left. So would you bring him back as a surprise to say all in, or would you start showing him power bombing like, everybody that he power bombed and finishing out with MJF, and Wardlow, would count it down like 6 weeks, 5 weeks, Wardlow, like kind of like they did with Triple H when he got hurt all those years ago. Triple H returns in 3 weeks, Triple H next week. Would you surprise it? Would you surprise us with the Wardlow, or would you build him back up to pop his ass back on TV?
That's a really good question, and my wheels are turning in my head. I feel like having people taken out backstage, you just find them on the floor, taken out, you don't know what's happening. That's going to kind of give you that build as to who could be taking everyone out. So, like, you're going to take out Adam Cole for starters. You might take out Rod Strong.
Adam Cole getting taken out could be the janitor, but I digress.
Yeah, so you're going to take out Rod Strong. You're going to take out Marina Shafir, but that's a whole nother story. You're going to take out, Kyle O'Reilly. You're going to take out those guys. You might take out, Max. You're going to basically look at the people that Wardlow would have had an issue with. You take them out. You take out other people. Let's say you might take out Gates of Agony. You might take out, who else could you take out? You could take out Wheeler Yuta. You could take out Cesaro. Just take out random people. But the people that Wardlow had, beef with or whatever, take them out, make it a mystery, build it up, then maybe, show it just his feet. Show maybe like a part of him that you can't tell who it is, and then wait for the big reveal. But I would do it at a pay-per-view. Do it at a pay-per-view, and I would keep it quiet as kept, because if it's, how the IWC is, if something gets leaked as a spoiler, then everyone's going to start going crazy. But keep it mystery, and have it be something unexpected. And there you go, problem solved. Now, if we could just have somebody take out, who was on my list this week other than the Bucks?
Who made your list? Who made the list of Diva?
Thank you. Who would I have taken out? Oh, If we could just have Monet smacked across the face and Britt back, I'd be happy with that. But that's a whole nother version.
That's the new CMLL champion there, honey. That's what 5 belts Monet is at 5 or 4 she's got again. It don't.
I think it's 5.
Yeah.
But then the other thing that's going around too is that she's dating. Who is she dating? Somebody, I can't remember who.
Beast. It was
Beast Mortoast.
Beast Mortoast. So supposedly some of the comments today, and I was actually at work. Shh, don't tell my boss. But I'll take occasional breaks and I'll just, kind of like scroll the groups, whatever. And somebody was saying as to how Beast Mortos is gonna get a major push because he's dating Monet.
Well, don't push too hard. You might rip her wig off.
That too.
What do you think, Paul? How should they bring Wardlow back? Because I'm done with talking about that bald bitch. I can't stand it.
I think with someone the physicality of Wardlow, Battle Royal. We're going to push this Battle Royal. I forget how they do it with the cards, and they have like a Joker card that's a mystery, right?
Oh, yeah.
So stack the Battle Royal. Like, as many physical human beings in that ring, as many, like, literally as possible. Just smash. We need, like, a glass smash kind of moment, like a Mick Foley had the car crash sound. But we need that moment where everybody goes, oh crap, and then Wardlow just comes out and literally smashes the crap out of everyone, and then you get your pop. He eliminated 14 people. Speaking of the big man himself,
well, I guess I'm gonna have to poo-poo on it because I disagree, and the reason I say that, Danny's gonna hate me for this. Nobody cared about him when he left. They
ruined him.
Yeah, they did. And that's why I would go the other way. I would build him up, and I would show nothing but highlights of him leaving people laying, from MJF to Samoa Joe, everybody that, even though Samoa Joe cut his hair, people, if you just show that clip, maybe you can get the other stuff out of their head and you build him up to be the monster.
Would you put him on like Ring of Honor to smash people in 5 seconds?
And another thing with that too is the IWC, that's the problem with it. Nobody can keep a secret anymore. And that includes Tony Khan. He's going to tell somebody who's going to tell somebody else who's going to tell somebody else. And by the time it's all said and done, it's going to be, hey, we hear Wardlow's in, Texas tonight, whatever the case may be. So if you're not going to be able to keep it under wraps, because we all knew that Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson was at that pay-per-view that night. We didn't know they were going to debut both of them.
Exactly.
So we were getting do you lean into it? Do you put it out that, he is in town for this pay-per-view? You know what I mean? Do you intentionally do those little breadcrumbs so that the audience thinks, we've put this puzzle together, that this guy's in town? Meanwhile, it's like, no. This is all public. I made photos of me in the town.
You could, but I guess it goes back to, to what our point that, we've talked about several times on here is how poorly he's been used. And my fear for him, because if he's going to come back, is if he comes back out as a surprise, is like how many people are, besides Danny's actually really going to care? And that's not a shot at the guy. That's how he's been booked. If he pops out as a surprise and then there's no pop, it's like you've killed him all over again.
How about we've done singles run. So I think if we bring Wardlow back singles run, people might go, we've seen Wardlow singles run. But what if we put Wardlow with another big, person? Because I always thought him and Hobbs would be a fantastic Road Warrior style.
I do like that idea because they have
massive human beings.
They tried that years ago. I don't know if you've ever seen them or not, but they put what the hell was his name? They put Scott Norton and Ice Train together. They called them Fire and Ice because Scott Flash Norton.
And American Gladiators
were huge, and there was no reason in the world. Because Scott Norton, I don't know about Ice Train, but everybody knew Scott Norton was a legit badass. And, knowing that, it was like you see him out there losing to, somebody that, maybe the size of the Bucks are a little bit bigger. And you're like, oh, dear God, what are you doing? And he said, you got these two big 330-pound behemoths out there and getting rolled up by a guy that's 215 pounds, like, they were with the cruiserweights or whatever.
Scotty Riggs, Mark Bagwell.
I think it just depends on the story. Well, hopefully this is everything. It depends on the story, because if you take two singles, I love this story. You take two singles wrestlers that are both powerful and you put them in tag team division, but they keep getting beaten in the tag team division because they suck as a tag team. They're great as individuals, but they can't mesh, so therefore they keep getting beaten. That's hard to work, though. It's very hard to
Ice Train wasn't that great in singles action either. So, but I'm gonna interrupt you real quick. Everybody watching, you guys, let's back up. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. Connor is back. How you doing, boss?
I'm doing all right.
Catch us up. What you been doing, man? Besides some live reactions.
Mr. Jacob's been doing those. I've just been doing some other things outside of wrestling.
That's not allowed, man. I'm sorry. We can't allow that.
I've still been watching everything. More so, I've been watching a little bit of everything, so I'm still in the know of what things happen.
Well, we'll make a couple of things quick, because I'll put it out there on the description. We'll let Paul take over and do this draft here in a few. But does anybody care that Goldberg's back? Anybody?
No.
I'm mad. I'm actively. No, I'm not actively angry, but I'm actively angry. Goldberg is back.
We knew he was coming. We knew he was getting the one last match, and the only way that I'll be happy with this is I would like to go ahead and let them do their thing, let him beat Gunther, just to have Seth Rollins come cash in and be done with it.
I'm with that.
Then I won't be so mad at it. But as good as Gunther is as a ring technician, even he can't carry Goldberg. Okay. So I wouldn't mind the quick Brock Lesnar type match and Goldberg celebrating in the ring. And then you hear.
I think Gunther's the perfect person I'm struggling to not call him Walter. I think Gunther's the perfect person to match with Goldberg, because I always worry when veterans come back, when legends come back, and they do too much and they get hurt.
Dude, do you listen to yourself about who we're talking about, and you say do too much, and it comes come on,
Undertaker, Kane, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. They didn't do that much, and they all got hurt in that match. That's
exactly.
what I'm trying
to had 2 moves and took out Bret Hart. So
if both these guys can work simple and not try to push themselves, I always worry someone's like, I still have it, and they do something where it's like, dude, it could have,
And just for you guys viewing pleasure, I'm going to duck my head, and if you can see the NWA title, you will see my little R-Truth action figure right up underneath it.
Who R-Truth? Is that who?
It's got truth on tights, man. Is all I had. But we're actually getting Cena killings tomorrow night, which shocked me a little bit. So I'm interested to see what they're doing with that on SmackDown. That's why I actually will be watching SmackDown tomorrow night for the first time in a while. To see what I don't know what I was doing last week, but I was flipping through the TV and got to that, saw killings come out and attack him on a couple of different occasions. And
thank God.
And then, but we're getting on a SmackDown tomorrow night. I'm like,
thank you, Jesus.
That'll be an angle. That'll be like a 5-minute, and then something will schmoz
and some of you may agree, some of you may not, but I'm gonna go ahead and award my jackass of the week to Tony Schiavone last night for saying the Young Bucks were the greatest tag team he's ever seen. And we're talking about a guy that's called matches of the Road Warriors, the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson. I could keep going with,
and I second that nomination. I
would argue the Road Warriors, but Tully and Arn, I couldn't argue that. Man, they're just so much more adaptable.
Oh, Tully and Arn was great in the ring. You go back and watch them.
But they could tell more stories than the Road Warriors. The Road Warriors were started eliminating.
The Road Warriors were the pop. The Road Warriors, they were better in the ring than the Ultimate Warrior, but I compare them to him a lot, because it's like it doesn't matter where they were. Like if it was Iron Man and the NWA or their WWE music,
they're better than the Ultimate Warrior, but they're not as good as the Texas Warrior. Did I get that right?
No, he was the Dingo Warrior in Texas.
Dingo
I was thinking Kerry Von Erich.
Oh, you know the modern day Warrior. He was modern day Warrior.
Thank you. I knew there was a Warrior in there somewhere.
But I'll tell you, I know Danny may have seen him. I know she would have been very, very young if she did, because I know she's about 26, 27. But people, if they never saw the Rock and Roll Express in person, do not understand how over they were. Now, like I said, the Road Warriors would get a huge pop, whether it was in NWA, WCW, or WWE when their music hit. But by the time they got to the ring, it was kind of like again, the Ultimate Warrior. Then the bell had to ring, and they had to get carried if it was going to be a match. And like I said, you cannot fathom how over Ricky Morton, especially, but the Rock and Roll Express were. That place went wild from the time they got in the ring to the time they left.
I remember
if you never witnessed it in person, and I'm hoping we get Edge and Christian soon. They were by far, I loved their sarcasm and comedy they did back in the day. They were good in the ring, so it wasn't like you get a great segment, but then the bell had to ring. No, Edge and Christian could also go, but again, it goes like I said. You
know what? We can make an episode of this.
Paul's wheels returning
in defense of the Young Bucks, because I feel like there's I know
I won't have nothing to say. I'll just be stepping back and listening to you guys.
Can I just point out that my nephew is 15 and a half, will be 16 in October. He's about 6 foot, maybe 175, and he can take out the Bucks.
Now, I'll give you this. Now, are they one of the most influential tag teams of their generation? Absolutely, they are. Don't mean, but to and I know Tony's doing a job, but to come out and say that, if it was, I wouldn't have been so mad if it had been Excalibur, if Excalibur had been the one to say it. But for Tony Schiavone to say those words, how he could even get them out of his mouth with all the
I second that nom. I second the nom.
All the tag teams that this man has called in his 40-year career, it's like, you know what? I don't like.
The funny thing is it's such in a certain reality, it is a fair statement to make because of where we are and blah blah blah. But coming out of his mouth,
smoking crack
makes it sound like a joke. Like the guy's Key and Peele.
Oh yeah,
the guy that's not the director, Keel. I think it is the bald guy. Yeah, no matter what he says, he could say 9/11 like stuff, and I'd be like, ha, this guy, he's funny. Because there's some people you just cannot take seriously, and it's like Tony Schiavone is sort of that person where it's hard to. Yeah, Excalibur you can take seriously. So if he said it, okay, there's an air of authenticity to it.
Oh, I mean, I agree. Somebody commented that TK was probably in his ear. I'm sure somebody.
I saw that. Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah. That's a word.
He probably was, but it'd be like I'm not getting the money that Tony Schiavone is, but just if that'd been me sitting there as I am now.
Okay,
mute my mic and go.
You do have to remember some quotes that Tony Schiavone said a few years ago. So I don't think he's really. For controversial statements, I feel like this is like on the lower one.
But
was he not the
with AEW, seats? And the Young Bucks, for me, and again for me, like with the stuff with the Death Riders that they're doing, it's like what are they doing? I mean, what are they even doing?
I don't think anybody knows. I mean, we're drawing names out of hats. You got two guys as EVPs who work a marketing job 9 to 5. During the week, dress up in gear and wrestle at the bar down the street for happy hour. That's what
it's like,
that's what they've done for 20 years.
And I go with no, I agree. But it's like the whole thing that they built this Death Rider story for so long, and I mean, maybe I'm the only one, but I really thought the Owen Hart tournament was set up for Will Ospreay to be the conquering hero, win the tournament, and finally take the belt off, and then they go a different direction, let Adam Page win. But I maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm watching it wrong, but it just seems like nobody cares when they're watching it.
I think the intrigue of it in the beginning was, what was the speech about? Like, I think that's what really got people interested was just the initial speech, the initial,
I'll play devil's advocate on that. Was it the speech or was it the speech on top of the Shane McMahon rumors meeting with Tony Khan?
Yeah, There you go. And then you've got random people in it. You've got Connor's girlfriend in it.
Oh yeah, how was that?
I can't wait for Willow to take
my
her
favorite
out.
kicked off the show last night, and Connor's favorite ended. We were on a roll last night.
We really were. And then you've got Cesaro in it, who is so insanely talented. And then you've got Wheeler Yuta in it.
The emo kid, Wheeler Yuta.
I
love Wheeler Yuta, but come on, man.
That experiment needs to be over.
Wheeler Yuta is almost like a nerd in the science lab who tries to hang out with the jocks after school.
I feel so bad because I feel like I'm fighting with everybody today, but it's like there's a good wrestler in Yuta. I know I've seen good matches with Wheeler Yuta, and it's like I know there's a good wrestler in there, but whatever this is they're doing with you, stop. Send him down the Ring of Honor. Let him do some pure title stuff. I remember him doing some good stuff like with that style, but this has got to end. Get him away from
I'm just wondering who's got naked pictures of him. He's got more of a push than other people.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I do like the like.
It's just I'm wondering if he's gonna trip over somebody in an aisle. He might trip over a chair on the way out. He might fall down the stairs. God only knows that he takes Marina Shafir with him.
Didn't Hook do something like that with the like?
Okay, there's another that describes Tony's booking down to a T. They did the injury angle with Hook, and then Hobbs come out and they win the 6-man titles. And then you don't see Hook for a while, and then he comes out and does something, gives Samoa Joe a dirty look, and Joe's like, and then Taz on commentary going, "Don't ask me, man. He's his own man." And we hadn't seen him since.
It's bad when commentary says, "Don't ask me." You're the person to ask. I do like
Hook. If Hook would just put on about 50 pounds of weight, he'd be actually fun to watch. But I do like
just promote him as this is where I'm like, you need weight classes because Hook is never going to get big. I don't know.
No,
I look at his body type and I just go, you look like you're going to be small, which is fine. Christopher Daniels was small, AJ Styles was small until he got to the Fed.
I started saying AJ's built like God, when he come back out of that injury, I was like, good God, did you?
But if you go look at old TNA AJ in the X division, he was a smaller framed fella.
Now the only question I have is Marco Stunt bigger than Hook?
No.
Does anybody know?
No, he's not.
Okay. They had Marco Stunt and Paul Wright in the same roster, and they never once did the spot where the turn around, look down.
I don't remember the exact spot, but I remember that.
I love that
they did something with Hornswoggle and the Big Show at one point where he was trying to beat up the Big Show. So
I think in the first All In, was it All In? The first ever pre-AEW pay-per-view they had a big sumo wrestler dude, and that guy did the pounce to Marco Stunt, and Marco Stunt flew out of the ring onto a pile of wrestlers that you didn't even see there because it's like that's amazing. More of that. But
does anybody remember what AJ Styles was named on his first major TV appearance?
What was the question? Sorry.
Do you remember what AJ Styles was called when he first made his national TV appearance? First one.
Alan Styles, I think, wasn't it?
No, on TV. His TV network debut.
Was it WCW or WWE?
It was WCW.
I was just about to say because he was in the cruiserweight division back then.
Was it WWE or TNA?
No, it was WCW.
Oh,
yeah, it was right 2000, right at the kind of tail end.
Yeah,
they had a cruiserweight tag team championship, which I think
they had. There you go. I forgot what they called the team, but they brought them in because it was a brief
Control. Or
it was Air Styles and Air Paris, whatever their name, whatever that tag team name was. But he was Air Styles on WCW TV.
That's a terrible.
It was terrible.
Air Styles is okay because.
We'll quit bitching from that. Paul, what are we gonna do? Let's get in this draft thing, man.
Okay, so there's a little bit of confusion when I say the word fantasy league. So to make it clear, this is going to be like a fantasy baseball, fantasy football type of thing. It's not like a promo kind of league. A lot of people get that confused. So we're going to each take turns. I've written down our names. I've hit a randomize button. We're going to each take turns picking wrestlers till we each have 5. And then over the next month, whenever those wrestlers either make a pinfall or submission victory, they get 2 points. And if they're on the winning team, so if it's like a tag team member of the winning, they get 1 point. So all sorts of strategies. There's all sorts of ways of going about this. But basically, it's like aim for people that wrestle more than not, right? That's the general strategy.
So in other words, do not draft Marina Shafir. Got it.
That's okay. So perfect example. Some people will pick Kenny Omega and he only wrestles every so often, but then some people will find a character like Wardlow where when they're on TV a lot. Like Big Bill on TV all the time. So it's like
God, he hadn't wrestled in a while either, though. I know they did that.
I think he's on Ring of Honor.
They did that segment in the back a couple of weeks ago with the Workhorseman, but I hadn't seen nothing of it unless they did it on Ring of Honor.
So the good news is I've already randomized all our names. And the good news for one of us is Jason gets first pick. So just to be clear, this is only AEW, so not Ring of Honor. It's Dynamite, Collision, and any pay-per-views, premium live events, whatever so All In, I think, is going to be our final night. But the AEW roster, you got your first pick of the first round.
All right. With the first pick in the 2025 AEW WrestleZone Unfiltered Episode 17 Fantasy Draft at Jason B. Ingram selects. And I swerve when I drive. And I swerve when I drive. Who else could you take number 1 from AEW? Come on, give me Swerve Strickland.
Oh, that's actually a powerful pick. Okay, so up next is the lady to my left, right. I don't know how this is facing, but Danny, you're second in line.
Oh, who am I taking? From AEW?
Smart Money says it will not be the Young Bucks.
Oh, the person that my cat's named after. Wardlow.
And this is when I slowly figure out that I can't spell anybody's names. Okay, so I did talk to Alan Jacobs about doing.
Hi, Mr. Jacobs.
So I think he's AFK right now or whatever, but he sent me a list, and this is what we call a draft board. So he sent me like 20 wrestlers. Okay. So I'm gonna start at the top of his list. Whatever's not picked, I'm gonna pick for him.
Whoever he picked, I'm sure is gonna be the 5-star player. So let's go with it.
So his first pick is Kenny Omega.
Kenny, by God, Omega.
The best about Machino.
It sucks the promo. Just wrestle and keep your mouth shut.
That brings us to Connor. Connor, you're fourth. I'm sorry, but this is your first pick.
I'm going to go with someone that wrestles a lot and wins a lot from the past few I've been watching. That's Kyle Fletcher.
Okay.
He's been on TV a lot. I would pick my favorites, but they never win. So if I want to win, I've got to go with people I don't like.
Fletcher's one of those people that I don't think anyone likes as a character, but he's a phenomenal wrestler.
Yeah, he's a good wrestler.
Yeah, that's where they really like I don't know. I guess threw me for a swerve. I really thought when I saw the Owen Hart tournament that we were going to get Fletcher Ospreay 3 in the finals, and Ospreay would go on. And I'm like, and I saw what we got. I mean,
I think he's young, so we can slow burn him. So speaking of young, and you can slow burn him. I'm last. I'm gonna pick Takeshita. I don't know if that's the best pick.
Takeshita's creepy,
but he's I don't like him as a character, but he's phenomenal
he really
wrestler.
He scared the crap out of me in Chicago at All Out.
Okay, so we gotta do this 4 more times. So to the top of the list, Jason, what's your second pick?
Decisions. Hold on a minute.
Quickly Googles AEW roster.
Nope. All right. The ticket is in.
Oh God, there's hundreds of them.
Oh God.
Really? I got to do. Okay. All right. Wouldn't have been when I said this is what they handed me. With the second pick in the 2025 WrestleZone Unfiltered All Elite Fantasy Draft, Jason selects. Okay. Hangman Adam Page.
Ooh.
Gosh. Can we do this over? Because I wanted Adam Page. It's fine.
Well,
because
depending on how your draft goes, I might be up for a trade.
Okay.
No, we'll see. Yeah, we can see how that goes. So D, you're Danny. Sorry, you're next.
Oh gosh, let me think here. Oh, one of my most favorite people in the world that I've often quoted as a clone of one of the best talkers and one of the best managers in wrestling history, because he's better than you and you know it. MJF.
Ooh, and he's in a feud now too, so that might be some good TV. Okay, so let's see what Alan had. Oh, he went.
Our tag team's also part of this too. So, like, can you pick like a tag team and have that count as one, or do you have to?
No, it's individuals.
Okay.
So the good news is if you take two members of a tag team and they win, you get the 2 points for the winning person and the 1 point for the team member. So you would get 3 from, let's say you had an FTR and they won, you would get 3 points because you had both people.
Okay, that makes
sense. So that's
a
strategy some people takes. But for Alan's next pick, he's got the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. I think he went right for the S class. I don't know if that's the best strategy, but boy, did he went for it. All right, Connor, your second pick. It's getting tense. Everyone getting quiet.
I was gonna go for MJF, but
put a time limit on the picks. Oh no.
I'm not sure this guy's gonna win it all in, but I'll go Christian.
Okay.
Or if he's even gonna be on the show.
For my second pick, oh my goodness, it's so hard. Okay, I'm gonna make a controversial choice. She doesn't work a lot, but when she does, she wins. So I'm gonna go with Mercedes Moné.
Oh God, yeah, she ain't never gonna lose.
How can she lose? She's got a contract she doesn't deserve because she's best buds with you know who.
But she's in this story with the timeless Tony Storm, right?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping there's going to be some action there. So we are back up to the top of the list, Jason.
With the third pick, it's already in, and this is a strong one in the 2025 Fantasy Draft. Jason selects Will Ospreay.
Billy Boy.
He's a bad man.
And he's currently in some stories. He's being pushed at the S class of AEW. So, all right, back to Danny. We're at round 3. We're halfway done.
Oh gosh, who would I pick? Watch out for the shoes, Miss Tony.
Oh, hold on, ready?
That's your pick, Timeless Tony.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, that's a good
Chin
one.
up, tits out.
Watch for the shoes.
It's funny. I go to my mom. I say, "Hey, I saw this funny thing in wrestling where they say chin up, tits out." She goes, "Oh, that's an old English thing." That's not my mom's voice. I don't know why I did it like that, but I was like, calmly, she just said it. Oh, it's an old English thing. We did. Really? I thought this was... Anyway.
Like that.
Okay, so let's go back to Alan's. So for his third pick, he's lucky. We've gone through all his picks so far without skipping anybody. And he's going to go with controversial, don't talk about him in the news, Brody King. Handsome fella.
He's on TV quite a bit.
And isn't he a bass player? Or am I thinking of the Butcher?
That's the Butcher. He's
for some reason, Brody King, I just see him rocking a bass. But we are back up to Connor.
I'm going Claudio Castagnoli.
Oh,
good pick.
He has one of the best records in AEW. Already almost 100 wins overall total. So
I'm not a fan of his sort of cosplay outfit we got going on, but oh well.
He wins though. That's what I need people that win. So.
Oh man, third choice here. I pick. Oh no, all the people I can think of now are on Ring of Honor. I can't even think of anyone. Okay, all right. I'm gonna panic quickly. I'm panicking more. Willow Nightingale. I don't know. I like her. Sue me. I don't know. She's won me over. I really enjoy her stuff right now. So we are back to the top. We're almost done. Trust me. Jason, you got two more. So this is your second last pick.
And I should have saved him for last, but I'm afraid he might be off the board. So maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. That's okay though. With the fourth pick in the All Elite Zone 2025 Fantasy Draft, Jason selects the almighty Bobby Lashley.
Bobby.
He was my
We hurt people.
That's definitely a strong pick.
Now, that would actually not be a bad way to bring Wardlow back if they got Hammerstone in there, is to have MJF screw the Hurt Business and have those two behemoths set up behind you.
Oh, who could we find to help us beat up MJF? Music pops. Everyone just goes, oh, MJF's screwed.
I would like to see if they bring back the Pinnacle and do MJF, FTR, and Wardlow versus the Hurt Syndicate. Because they got
that would be interesting, yeah.
Has Cedric Alexander possibly coming in to be full.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see Cedric, even though that Big Swole happened. But and people talk about, well, that stuff with his wife. Like, yeah, look at what happened with Leo Rush, and they still brought him back again. So,
I think the Pinnacle is probably the best way to bring him back. To put him back with MJF, but do it a little bit different this time.
All right, let's keep this on the rails because we're almost done here. Danny, it's your fourth round pick.
Oh gosh,
this is your second last one. We're heading home.
I got to pick somebody who is growing on me as a performer, who I do find semi-adorable and very inspiring, considering he broke both of his legs. Danny Garcia.
Ooh.
You just like that dance he does. That's all it is. It's okay, man. I ain't mad at you.
Handsome as
I ain't mad at you. I like the way Maria Shirakawa, shakes her boobies too, so it's all good.
Okay. All right. Alan on his list. Oh, he went for another big person. Cope is Alan Jacobs' fourth round pick.
Cope.
Mr. Jacobs, if you're listening, I don't think your list combines wrestled 2 matches in 6 months, but
Mr. Jacobs, when are we going to see you on the show?
It's like I like the idea of his strategy. Might not pan out for him, but Connor, it's your second last pick, buddy. Round 4.
I'll go Megan Bain.
BAYNE, right?
BYNE, yeah.
That's a great name too. Okay, so for my...
she's got a great presentation, man. If they do it right, they can push her to the moon.
Yeah.
So my second last pick, for some reason, I don't know why I didn't think of this person, but we love them in our hearts. We love them at the end of our fists. But Mark Briscoe?
Oh, God bless Jay's soul. Jay is happy.
Because I love him. His match that he had with on the pay-per-view, he had a stretcher match with someone. Ricochet, fantastic match.
Yeah.
Briscoe is a fantastic worker. Oh my god. I love him. I can't say enough good things about him. Okay, so last round, last 5 picks. We all have 1 left. So, Jason, you're making a big deal out of these ones. What's your pick, buddy?
I don't know. What do I get? 30 seconds?
29 and a half.
36.
Quick question for you.
Yes.
If they're on the Ring of Honor roster but wrestle on the AEW TV all the time, are they eligible or not?
I would say they are eligible because it's on AEW television, and that's sort of what we're focused on.
Okay. All right. Well, if that's the case, then give me the prodigy, Nick Wayne.
Ooh. I know he's on Ring of Honor, but didn't he do some work with Christian on the main roster and stuff?
Well, he still is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's how they're building up this whole Edge and Christian thing soon because, Nick's got the Ring of Honor television title, but, you see the tension building week in and week out when they're on TV. So
I think for this game, we didn't, for the technicality, as you can pick anyone you want, but whether they're going to win on AEW TV is, you know what I mean? You can pick Brock Lesnar. Yep. You know what I mean? It doesn't going to work, but yeah, Wayne's a good out of the box pick. I definitely want that one. We are back to Danny.
Okay. So my husband teases me because I have what I call the core 4. So it's like 4 people that just have pulled my heart.
I just want to point out before you make your choice, the Young Bucks are still on the board.
Yep. No, they're both right there.
Oh, you mean the guys that couldn't manage a Walmart, let alone a Target? Okay, anyway, moving on. They couldn't bag groceries either. I'm gonna pick somebody, and actually, I really can't make up my mind, Paul.
It's so hard.
I'm gonna pick 2 of my core 4.
What's this? Are we
FTR?
So which of the FTR bald or FTR hair?
Bald.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the cat's. The cat was named.
I'm literally typing his name as FTR bald because I think it's too funny. Okay, so back to Alan's list. He's on pick 5. Oh, he's actually won. This one is, I think, currently injured. But that's not to say he can't come back anytime soon. So Eddie Kingston. I feel like that's an appropriate 5th round.
Does anybody know any updates? Last time I read, he was in rehab and I thought they were close to clearing him.
I don't know, but they don't really need him to do too much. So hopefully they can have him come back promos while he's sort of getting back.
Oh God, shape. I miss him so much.
Connor. It's your last pick, dude.
I got Shelton Benjamin.
Oh, that was fast. That was the fastest pick ever.
Right. Okay. See, now Connor and I'll get to share points when they win in those tag team matches.
Yeah.
No
one's going to beat them for those.
And that's a great way of kind of spreading out points depending on which company we're doing this in. So, I got the last pick, and it's like I don't even know.
Well, did we do Mr. Jacobs' last pick?
Or did he did. Mr. Jacobs' his last pick was Eddie Kingston.
Eddie, okay.
Yeah, okay.
And then Connor, we can do this all quickly at the end. Connor did Shelton, and then I'm on my absolute last pick.
Round out your bad company, Paul. Let's go.
Oh man, I don't even. Should I piss off Connor and pick a? Okay, I'm gonna go on a long shot here, and this is not for points. This is for hope. This is for love. This is one day she will get everything that she deserves in life, and that's Julia Hart.
Okay.
I love her makeup. I love her look. I love everything.
Her entrance is like
please.
So
she had the hearts with makeup around the eyes, and I thought that was the coolest look I've ever seen.
Have y'all catch caught the title, the tiny subtle change in her music since she's been back and Malachi / Alistair is no longer there?
No, I guess they're trying to push away from that.
Well, that's how when she would come out, she would sing "The House Always Wins." It says her song now says "The Heart Always Wins."
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, so quick recap, and then we're done with this. So 5 members of a team. Jason's team is Swerve, Adam Page, Will Ospreay, Bobby Lashley, and Nick Wayne.
That's strong as flipping death right there.
Danny's team, Wardlow, MJF, Tony, Daniel Garcia, and FTR Bald. I don't think they're going to get along much. Alan Jacobs' team, Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, Brody King, Adam Copeland, and Eddie Kingston. Don't look up their political views. Connor Hayes has Kyle Fletcher, Christian, Claudio, was there Bain, Nicole Bain?
Megan
Bain, thank you. Shelton Benjamin.
Megasis.
I have her last name written down. That's why I forgot and my team, which is probably gonna suck, Takeshita, Monet, Willow Nightingale, Briscoe, and Julia Hart.
I like your team, except for you took the bald bitch. Other than that, I think you did all right.
So this will go over a month. Every week we can come back and I can say nobody scored any points because we all picked S tier people. But no, this should be fun. We should have I believe when's Texas in July. Right?
We are 3 weeks away, July 12th. We actually got they moved the time, so that's 3:00 on Saturday the 12th, and then we get Saturday night's main event that night with Goldberg. And I'm telling you, TKO, Triple H, if y'all do not have either Gunther retain or Goldberg win quickly and Seth come out and cash in, then that's gonna be it for me for a while.
It's gonna be a cluster. It's gonna be an it show because
what's
the point of having Goldberg back?
Well, did y'all watch Raw? Any of you guys watch Raw?
I did. Yeah, we did.
When Goldberg got to the ring after his entrance, I mean, he was profusely sweating. He looked like he was blown up already. I'm like, dude, that's what my husband said. You got 3 weeks to get some cardio in, my man.
They said the same thing because we were sitting here and we had heard he'll send me stuff, I'll send him stuff throughout the day, whatever. And I'm like, Goldberg's back. I'm like, wait, what?
And I will tell you, this is not meant to be funny at all.
What
it reminded me of was the night after WrestleMania on Monday when the Warrior came out to talk, and all he did was walk to the ring, and by the time he got there, his face was blood red. He was profusely sweating, and that's the first thing that triggered my mind. I'm like, dear God, is this man okay? Or, I mean, we all have our opinions of Goldberg. Like, he got to the ring, and I was like, dude,
it's like I think that's just an unfortunate side effects of some people, how they view working out. Like, you'll get Warrior and Goldberg and they could probably press slam you, no problem, but maybe not, might not be doing 5K runs here and there.
Now I'll real quick on the draft thing,
okay,
and then we'll jump into some history real quick.
Okay,
is it just me? I mean, I tell me when I'm wrong. I don't care, but is it a reflection of how bad the AEW booking is when all 4 of us sit here and not one of us take the world champion and not one of us take the TNT champion? Nobody took either one of them. What does that tell you, Paul?
So we've done this for a few years now, and we can read into a little bit. So traditionally, baby faces lose a lot on their build because the heels will always get one over on them, right? So depending on who the champion is, that's not a good sign. And I think Jon Moxley's just not going to lose. Like, he's not really working a lot. You know what I mean? It's.
Well, I don't know, man. The judge might have different plans for Jon Moxley. He might lose there.
Send him to Japan.
Yeah, I don't know. Like this, like you said, the Death Riders thing was cool in the beginning. It was intriguing because you don't know what he wanted. Or what he was doing. You had the Shane McMahon speculation coming in, and now the Death Riders are like a bottle of Diet Coke in the fridge that's been sitting there for a month and it's
like
you can't drink it, and you're just you'll drink it if it's the last thing in there because you still get a little bit of the taste.
Well,
but it's really bad.
You know, they would have been off TV a long time ago, but luckily Marina Shafir came in to elevate the group. And without her, they would have been off TV already. But you know, she's keeping it going. So
did she elevate now that much, or did she elevate that much?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Roddy.
So this is my weird analysis. So I think the Death Riders are a sort of simulation of what's going on in Japan. What they have a group called House of Torture, and House of Torture is like the worst heels. All they do is cheat every second of every match. House of Torture. They were part of Bullet Club, but anyway, it's a very Japanese name. But anyway, they're like Memphis heels. They'll fight 9-on-1. They have all these tricks on how to like cheat matches. It's cheap heat. Japanese crowds are responsive to that because they're very like, no bull. We want this, we want a good match. That doesn't work in America. So I think they're trying the similar thing, but American crowds are just sort of like, yawn, like push over a cameraman. We don't really care. Like it's not the same crowd. So doing a similar style angle doesn't have that same, because Evil in Japan is hated. He's just the worst. He's the leader of House of Torture. Everyone hates him. But you look at John Moxley and everyone's sort of like,
nobody cares.
Yeah. So like what, why, like, are they sticking to this with no wiggle room? Because it's like, you guys are kind of boring. You're not interesting. You're not fun. You're just sort of there. And it's painful in a way.
Well, Connor, I'll throw that to you. What does it say to you? I mean, us four nobodies like us who are fans that just enjoy doing this, that we do this and we draft, between the five of us, 25 people. What does that say to you about the state of AEW when not one of us takes either one of their top two champions?
It means that they're not booking their top priorities good. And nobody cares. If nobody cares about your world champion, then you're doing something wrong. Because the world title should be the main thing in the company. It should be what everybody's talking about, but nobody cares. And I can tell you what's going to happen. You're going to have Moxley will be champion until October. Moxley is going to beat Hangman. Forbidden Door's in London. Moxley's going to go against Ospreay. He's going to beat Ospreay. Darby's going to come back and beat him at Wrestle Dream. The same place where Moxley
I forgot about Darby.
Nobody wants Darby to win, I don't think. I want
the heavyweight championship. No, don't give it to Darby. No,
I
like Darby. No,
that's what they're going to do.
No, he's too common.
I mean, kind of like
junior heavyweight.
You bring up Darby. We haven't seen. We know what he was doing. We hadn't seen Jack Perry since he dropped the TNT title.
I personally don't think Darby should win, but I'm just saying he's probably going to win.
I could see it. He is one of the guys that's been around forever.
I feel like Hangman has put in more effort into getting the title back. Like the feud of Swerve was good.
Yeah.
Ospreay was good. And he has momentum, but I feel like that they're going to kill that momentum.
Well, with all this stuff going on, and Ospreay trying to be the voice of reason and trying to bring him and Swerve and Page together. What if we get the Ospreay heel turn and we get whatever that heel version of Ospreay that the American audience has not seen? I'd be all for that.
How is he as a heel? Is Ospreay
phenomenal? He is
absolutely amazing. He's
he's a much, in my opinion, he's a much better heel than he is face.
I don't know if he's going to have the same caliber partners in America that he did in Japan, because when he was doing that run, he had Shingo Takagi, who he's like peanut butter and jelly with. They had a series of matches that was just beautiful artwork. I don't know if he has that same person in AEW that clicks. Him and Swerve are pretty good. I don't know if they're that level, but you know what I mean? He was what's above S class, Goku class in Japan during that heel run. But they just need to flip a switch and he'll be there.
All right. Well, speaking of our world champion, John Moxley, we will kick off today in pro wrestling history. 9 years ago tonight at Money in the Bank, Dean Ambrose won the briefcase and later that night cashed in on his fellow former Shield member, Seth Rollins, to become the WWE champion. He was more interesting than to me, but, that's me. 43 years ago today, Kerry Von Erich faced off against the legendary Harley Race, the winner getting a shot at Nature Boy Ric Flair for the world title. Kerry Von Erich won that match and got the title shot and beat Ric Flair.
I miss when number one contenders matches were had an oomph to them. Where you're like, oh, number one's getting, it meant so much more. That's a good example of small detail, but means more.
3 years ago today, longtime WWE referee and handler, best friend of Andre the Giant, Timmy White, passed away. 23 years ago today, on a lighter note, it was the very first TNA pay-per-view where Ken Shamrock became the NWA World Champion and AJ Styles became the first X Division champion.
Great period.
28 years ago, today's former WWF World Heavyweight Champion Stan Stasiak passed away from congenital heart failure.
Oh, that's Stan Stasiak.
And then 46 years ago today, Pat Patterson defeated the not yet $1 million man, Ted DiBiase, to win the North American title. And this one I do remember very well. 31 years ago tonight, the WWF presented King of the Ring, where Owen Hart had a phenomenal night and won that tournament. I missed that. I missed the way they did the King of the Ring back then. I don't like the way they do it now. I enjoyed watching those guys have to go through, 3 matches on the pay-per-view that night after.
And it's an element of storytelling that you don't get anywhere else, where it's they come out already selling their elbow from the previous match.
Right. It's like when Steve Austin busted his lip that night and had to go to the hospital, and that's how 316 was born, because Michael Hayes had to catch him up on speed to what Jake Roberts said. And
it's so easy to book because the heel cheats the whole time. The babyface has to do these grueling marathons. So then the final match, the heel comes out doing jumping jacks, and the babyface comes out like a sling and a crutch. And perfect heat. Everyone's already over. They know exactly what's happening.
And today would have been the 87th birthday of Chief Wahoo McDaniel, former NFL player, standout with the Jets, and of course, a tremendous professional wrestler. If you have never seen Wahoo wrestle, whether it be TV or live and in person, he threw the hardest chop I have ever seen to this day. Go YouTube Wahoo, and it's you'll see what I'm talking about. 32 years ago today, Joey Styles made his debut for Eastern Championship Wrestling. Oh, yep. 14 years ago tonight. Here we go. Rolling back around. 14 years ago tonight at Capital Punishment, John Cena defeated R-Truth to retain the WWE Championship.
It's like magic.
Let's see if anybody remembers this guy. 21 years ago today, a very young Stu Sanders made his debut. Anybody know who that is? Stu Sanders.
Nope, I give up.
Stu Sanders.
That's Wade Barrett.
That is correct.
Ooh,
Wade Barrett.
Oh,
I call him Stu.
Go ahead, boss man. Get him. And then 11 years ago tonight, Bobby Lashley defeated Eric Young to win the TNA World title in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And that is today in pro wrestling.
I love Eric Young.
EY. Yeah, it was a shame that they didn't do more with Sanity on the main roster. But
I was thinking the same thing.
All right, we were talking about segments at the top, and we're getting close to at the hour. So, I'm gonna give you a little homework for the week, and then the rest of you guys can think of a segment for the following week. But because Paul and I talked about it last week, I'm gonna do all 3 of you a favor, and anybody watching, I'd love for you to do it as well, so you can get in on the comments and know it. Watch. So we can discuss the I Quit match between Tully Blanchard and Magnum TA at Starrcade. Starrcade, if I remember right, off the top of my head, that should be Starrcade 86. Paul, Google it. Tell me if I'm right. Is that Starrcade 86?
Tully versus
Magnum.
I'm getting a bunch of results, so I can't tell you right off. Oh, the I Quit match.
It was Starrcade.
Give me a second. There's always ads. Oh, it's not saying. Sorry.
Starrcade 85.
Was it 85?
Yes, it's guy right here. Yeah.
Okay. Starrcade 85, not 86. The I Quit cage match between Magnum TA and Tully Blanchard. And Tully Blanchard to this day will hold on to that heel performance of saying he never said the words "I quit" because he didn't. When the referee had the mic in his mouth, he was like, "Say it," and he was like, "Yes,
well,
yes."
Look at that. The entire match is on.
The referee called it, but Tully never said the words "I quit."
The whole match is on the Internet Archive.
Yep. So we are at the hour. We got our draft out of the way. Danny, any final thoughts?
Other than hoping Ron Killings takes out John Cena, so we don't have to see the crabby old man who looks awful at 48 years old and who looks like he's mad because he didn't get to the bingo hall in time for the buffet. Let's just hope that John Cena just goes away.
Well, we've actually been talking about this. I know you've been busy, so I'll pose you this quick question.
Yeah.
On that thought. I really like what Michael Cole did when he won the title, talking about how, how could you can't really be mad at him because, look at all the ways Ric Flair retained and won the title. He's 100% correct.
Yeah.
But if they had not done this with John Cena, all we would have gotten was, hey, this is my last time here versus, after tonight, he the whole "you can't see me," so I mean, I'm still convinced by the end of it all, we're going to get the double turn of him retiring as a baby face, and we're getting heel Cody to move forward. But I mean, like it or not, I mean, what else would you have done with the guy for this run?
I would have, me personally, I would have changed his music, changed his gear, and made him darker. And to me, I feel like this doesn't fit because number one, it's awkward. Number two, it's something that should have been done in 2011. And the Punk segment, oh my God, the Punk segment on Monday was just Punk being real. And I asked I said, do him and Cena have legit, hate for each other? He's like, I don't know. But it was just so, it seemed like so real. And
when Punk told him, I cannot remember what he said. What he said he was dressed like, but when he saw, oh my God, I kind of
just like some of the baseball.
The 4-year-old t-ball player that just struck out.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah. I stopped when I was doing it. I was like, okay, that was funny. That was funny.
Yeah. And it just, to me, it just doesn't fit. Maybe it's because they did it, 13 years too late. But the time has passed for this heel run, which, again, they should have done 2011, 2012. If they would have done that 2011 after Punk cut that pipe bomb, that would have been huge.
Well, I'll tell you this, my opinion of it. I don't know what the outcome is going to be with Ron Killings, and I don't know if we maybe we get heel Cody. That's what I think, but nothing's 100% guaranteed. So depending on what they do moving forward, I don't think he has a chance not to do anything better than what he's doing with CM Punk, because CM Punk made all 100% accurate points about, oh, you're going to take the title and leave. Oh, I did that. I mean, he had a list of stuff going through and stuff to that nature. So like I said, depending on what they do moving forward, this might be the best thing he does on this run.
Might be. I think he loses at SummerSlam, possibly, because Cody's getting the belt back, I think. Then after that, maybe he goes back babyface. Because I feel like they're going to do Rollins. Well, going back to the Goldberg, this ties in with that. I think Gunther's going to win at Saturday Night's main event. At SummerSlam, it's going to be Gunther and Sammy. I think Sammy's going to win. He's going to beat Gunther because they teased this after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Sammy's going to win he's going to beat Gunther for the world title. Seth Rollins is going to cash in on him like 2 minutes after he wins it. The World Rumble is in Saudi Arabia. Sammy's going to win the World Rumble, go on to WrestleMania to beat Rollins, because they teased this with Sammy and Rollins with the world title. You remember when Rollins was trying to get him to join, well, not to join, but to go to SmackDown and not have to worry about this new group and just take the easy way out. So I feel like that's going to be a long-term thing. And if Seth Rollins is the champion after SummerSlam, they might do a Rollins and Cena match one last time, because Cena and Rollins had a feud there in like 2015, and like Rollins broke his nose, I believe. Yeah, it was when like John Cena's nose was all busted up and everything. So they might do that with Cena. Then I can do him in AJ Styles one more time. Maybe he goes after the Intercontinental title. He's never won that. So they've got people, but I'm curious to see how they get there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways they could go. So, well, like you said, we shall see. Paul, got any final thoughts for us there tonight, sir?
Not necessarily on John Cena, but I got two things to mention before we wrap up in total because, well, one, if people are paying attention to the draft and would like to take part, I run a community that does that. So we are the PWFL, the Pro Wrestling Fantasy League. So you can find us on Reddit. We are a Discord community. But the more important thing is on Saturday, I get to go. I want to highlight this because Frantic Pro Wrestling is a small Ontario wrestling company. And I'm very excited to be trying out for any spot on the card. Let's be realistic. So I just wanted to highlight them to be like thankful for, you know what I mean, opportunities and all that. So if anybody's in Ontario or like small indie promotions, I would definitely check them out on Instagram. I know the event on Saturday, they're having a bring your own weapons match with a couple of guys I train with, total assholes, but it's going to be great watching them get their face smashed in with keyboards and stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in that kind of independent wrestling, yeah, I would definitely highlight Frantic Pro Wrestling. I think they're on Instagram and all that. So that's my 2 cents for the show.
Well, like I said, I gave you some homework for the next week, and we are hopeful for you there, sir. And for the three of you, so being I jumped in and jumped the gun on that one so I love that match. I want you guys to see it and then give me, because personally the reason I picked that match is Paul and I talked about it last week. There's not a lot that I think can hold today's audience, but there's some, and if in my personal opinion, you watch that match, it's not the production of what we see today, so it's a little dark, dimly lit, arena, but that's okay. You'll see it, like I said, the Valentine Piper dog collar match, Stark 83 still holds near and dear to my heart. But we'll discuss that with those guys watching that, and then we'll get some points on the AEW draft. We will continue the countdown to All In and make sure that Goldberg has not had a heart attack as of yet, and he can still make it to Saturday night's main event, and anything else that comes our way. So for the All-Star cast, the Diva, Miss Danny back, Paul as always, and the boss has returned. Thank you, Connor, for joining us. Guys and girls, thank you for the comments, and we will see you next week.